What's up, everybody? Glad to have you in here. Let's do it. Let's get some free training in. I got a lot of stuff I want to go over with you guys tonight. Lots of stuff. We're going to be changing some lives tonight. Not holding anything back. Got a few questions inside my Facebook group of some stuff you guys want to go over. How to get motivated sellers, best markets to expand into, negotiations, objections. Anything that you got, I'm going to answer for you. And if you've been in here before, you know that I don't hold anything back. I'm a straight shooter, so let's get into it. All right. If you're in here, you can hear me. Drop in the comments. Let's get it going. Let me know what you want to learn about tonight, and we're gonna kick it off. All right, perfect. First thing I'm going to do here is I'm going to get into a couple of objections and some rebuttals with you guys I want to go over tonight. I get a lot of questions on this, and I cover this a lot in my training and with my students, but I want to go over a couple of these objections and rebuttals with you guys if you are interested. So let me just go over this, and then we'll jump into some questions. Put in your questions as you have them. Doesn't have to be on this subject. It can be on anything. But I'm just going to start going over a little bit of rebuttals with you guys. I think it's going to be helpful, and then we'll get into your questions here. So let's get into it a little bit. I'm going to share my screen so you can see it. And I have a whole bunch of these objections, guys, right? So, a rebuttal. Rebuttals to when your seller gives you some sort of a objection of why they don't want to sell, or why you're offering what you are, or they're telling you they have no place to go, right? Or they need to think about it. Or let's say it's pricing, right? They have questions on your pricing. They say, well, Zillow tells me it's this price, or whatever it may be, right? For all my students and in my new program, I go over this extensively, and I have pages and pages and hours worth of training on this. But for this live, I figure it'd be nice for you guys to at least brush up on some of this for you and give it to you for free, because I know that it's helpful, right? And if you guys been on here before, you know that I don't hold anything back from you guys. You got a question, I'm gonna give you the straight answer. So let's just go over a couple of these. And then we'll get into some questions. So the first thing is pricing, right? Pricing is always one of the big things. Anytime we're talking to a seller, anytime we're doing anything real estate related, obviously we need to get a deal, right? We got to get a deal on these properties, and it comes down to price. Always. I mean, and the general rule of thumb is you never give out the first price. I don't care what's happening in my office. We never give out the first price, and I hope that you don't either. Okay? You never want to give out the first price. The first person to lay out their hand always loses, okay? So you need to use techniques and different scripts so that you can force almost the seller to give you a price. And, you don't need to hold them to it, but you need to get an idea of where they are. And by knowing where they are is going to help you determine their motivation. And we only want to be working with people who are motivated. If they're not motivated, don't waste your time talking to them. Put them on a follow-up sequence, right? And touch base with them in a month or so and see if their motivation has changed. But in this business, we have to talk to a lot of people, okay? The more people, the better. And only spend your time on the people that are motivated. If they're not motivated, you're spinning your wheels and you're going nowhere, okay? So here's a couple objections that I use, that I teach. So say someone says, well, they won't give you a price. They They want you to give them an offer, right? Well, you called me, right? That's what you're going to get most of the time when you're cold calling, you're texting, or whatever it may be, right? People are going to be like, well, you reached out to me. You sent me a postcard. You called me. How much can you offer me? Well, I like to say something like this. Well, if we're up to me, I would, but we're looking at a lot of properties, and it takes a good amount of time to sit down and really evaluate what the property is worth, to be honest with you. And I can't even do that unless I know we're somewhat in the same ballpark. So do you have any idea what you'd like to get for it? I won't hold it to you. I won't hold you to it, I promise. Right? So we say something like that. Then they say, well, no, just tell me. And you go back again with another one. We have a bunch of these. We have a series of these. You keep on asking the same question, but in different order. Well, if we're going to come to an agreement on purchasing your property, you must have some idea what you're willing to take. Now, if I tell my partner, you won't even give us a ballpark price, I know he's going to tell me to start at a ridiculously low offer. I would hate to do that and waste each other's time and go back and forth. I know your time is valuable, right? Can you give me any type of number I can bring back to them? Right? So you're forcing them to give you some kind of a price. Now, you're not going to hold it to them. You want a ballpark, even a range, right? You want somewhere between 50 and 100, 100 and 200, 2 to 3. Give me an idea of where you're at. And you're going to see more of my rebuttals here. I always use the partner. Where is it on here? If I go back to my partner, right here, he's gonna throw it out, right? My partner is the decision maker. Now, you might not have a partner, right? And it doesn't matter if you have a partner. This script is the same no matter if you have a partner or not, right? I don't have to answer to anybody, but it doesn't matter. I always put it off on somebody else because you want to keep that rapport. My partner's the one that runs all the numbers. I'm not really sure what we can do. I'm just the guy reaching out to kind of introduce ourselves and see if he would be interested in selling. He's a numbers guy, right? I have to give him the information, and then he sits down and evaluates it, determines whether we want to move forward with this deal or not, right? So always put that off on somebody else. If you're the decision maker, they're going to be hounding you. And this goes forward too, back when we get down to into negotiations, right? There's all kinds of negotiating things we do as well. And we always say that it's the partner. Well, my partner really wants to get at this price. You know, I like the property. I like you. I think we can make this deal happen, but I just don't think I can get my partner to agree to this. You know, I want to create a win-win for both of us. I really like you, and I think we can definitely do a good job here, and we can stand tall, right? But my partner, he's just not seeing the values. He just can't quite get to that price. What can we do to come together, right? You're the middle person. That way you keep that rapport, right? And you're never the bad guy. You're always the guy that they like and they trust. And throughout my scripts and through everything that I do, you're always the good guy. You're the guy that's trying to make a win-win, a fair handshake on both sides, right? Super, super important. So that's just a couple small things that you can say, because I know everybody in here, if you're making phone calls, if you're talking to sellers, hopefully you're not giving out the first offer. And if you are, that's the first lesson tonight. But if you're not giving out the first offer and they tell you to give them an offer, here's a couple objections that you can use, right? Always use your partner. Let them know you're looking at a lot of houses. You know, once I hang up this phone call, I got to make 20 other phone calls of houses we're interested in. I got to spend this money this week. If you're not interested in selling, I completely understand, right? Put it back on them. Put some pressure on them. Put your thumb down on them. Let them know. If they're motivated, the motivation is going to come to surface. And like I said before, we only want to be talking to motivated people. Okay? So hopefully that helps you a little bit. All right, guys. Put your comments in. Put your comments in. Let me know what you think about that. If you like that, if that's helpful, give me some thumbs up. Give me some love. Share this video. Help me keep on growing this group. I would really, really appreciate it. Let's get to a couple questions, and then we'll go back to some more rebuttals, right? Do I offer mentoring? Yes, I do. So hit me up on my Facebook page or Instagram or wherever you want to reach me. Send me a message and tell me you're interested. I have a new program coming out. Hopefully in a couple weeks they'll be finished. I'm throwing everything in this, guys. I have 2 courses coming out. I have one that is a complete step-by-step for beginners, right? If you're brand new, you don't know anything about real estate, you don't know anything about wholesaling, and you want to get started, you know how simple I lay things out. And I lay how to do your first deal out simpler than anything else I bet you've ever seen. And I currently have a program like that right now, but I'm updating it, and all my current students are going to get that as well. And then I have one on virtual wholesaling, right? Of how to do deals all over the country in different markets, how to do it all over the phone, and showing you how to simplify that as well, right? So if you're interested in me personally helping you, hopefully you can see the type of value that I give. And I'm not going to hold back. I want to make sure you succeed, because that's the type of guy I am. And I want to make sure that you guys are making money. Okay, another question. Hey, Nick, new listener here. Perfect. I like that. I'm curious about which service you use for skip tracing. Absolutely. Let me put it right here for you. If you use this right here, batchskiptracing.com, code Estes, it'll give you 20% off. Okay, that's what I use in my business, and it gives amazing results. And if you use that code, it'll give you 20% off. Okay, so check that out. All right. How to set up a driving for a dollar campaign? Sure. Pretty simple, really. I mean, all you want to do is get in your car and start driving around, right? Your car or your bicycle, or put on your running shoes. It doesn't matter, right? The whole idea is you got to get out and you got to start looking around the area for houses that look abandoned, or tall grass, or just unkept yard, or tarp on the roof, right? Peeling paint. It could be all kinds of different things. Now, if the home has these type of things, it's usually for the reason that the homeowner may not be able to afford to fix it up, and they might be in some sort of situation where you can help them by giving them a cash offer, right? So what you want to do at that point is you can either just write them down, just keep a notebook with you, or a pad of paper, whatever, write down the address, okay? Then once you have that, you can go into your tax assessor site, and you can look up who owns the property. Once you know who owns the property, go back, right? Go to batchskiptracing.com, code Estes, and look up and get their person's phone number and call them up and say, hey, I'm driving by your property. I'm looking to buy a house in the area. Would you consider getting an offer on that? Would you consider selling, right? And you do this over and over and over, and do hundreds of times a week. And if you do that 100 times a week, I guarantee you within a couple of weeks, you probably got a deal. Very, very simple. So something to think about there. Another thing that you can do is you could just, you could use an app like Deal Machine, and to keep track of all the properties instead of using a pad of paper if you don't want to. Deal Machine, code Estes on that as well, to help you out and get some free credits there. So it's very, very simple. Any type of driving for a dollar it's probably one of the most tried and true and the least expensive ways to get started, because you're just using your resources and your eyeballs to find deals, right? So try it out. If you have any more questions about that, let me know. All right. Getting my LLC registered as we speak in North Carolina. Boom. Love it. Love it, man. If you have any questions, hit me up. Happy to help. All right. If you're interested in mentoring, yeah. So right now, the new courses drop here shortly. If you want to be on the list of the people that get notified first of when it comes out, send me a message on Instagram or on Facebook. And for all the first people that sign up, I'm giving a huge discount, probably about 50% off. I'm going to keep it super, super affordable for you guys as well, because I know that there's a lot of people that overcharge in this industry and don't deliver results. And I'm going to do the complete opposite, right? I'm doing a 180 on that fucking thing. I'm over delivering and undervaluing it. So let me know if you're interested. Hit me up and I'll make sure I can get you in. Okay. Oh, crap. Here we go. Message is coming in. Sorry, guys. So we're still working here. Okay. How do you determine the price for a property? Example, assessed at $103,000. Zillow says the value is 100. Send me the address if you want, and I will help you determine the ARV and the MAO as long as you know the condition. Okay? Very simple. I do not mind helping you. I'll go right into here. If you just go to estesdata.com, right here, estesdata.com, it will get you a PropStream membership. It'll give you a discount, and that's how I take and determine all home values right in there. Okay? And I will show you how to do that, and I will help you do that if you want. I don't mind doing that. And speaking of that, if you guys have any deals, rounds we're on this live, if you want to join me on this live, if you want to come on in and have a conversation, if you want me to help you with negotiations, or you want me to help you with a deal, or anything that you guys need, I'm here for this time to help you. So let me know what you want. Come on in here. Let's talk it out. Let me actually try to help you personally. If you want me to assess a deal for you, come up with an MAO. If you want me to help you contact a seller, right? I can do that as well. I did that today with somebody, right? Whatever you need, I'm here. It's one thing you will learn. Okay. All right. I want to be able to wholesale virtually. Okay, good. Cold Call Center, Lead Gen Pros, code Estes, okay? Best way to contact motivated sellers. Okay, well, let's say that you have a motivated seller, or you have a list of properties, okay? Let's say you have a list of properties and you need to contact them. I'm going to go right back to where I was here. Once you have their information, right? So let's just say this is some of my properties here. So let's just say you have a list, right? A list of data, or you're driving for dollars, or you pulled list off estesdata.com, right? And you have all these different lists. Next thing you got to do, the best way is to get their phone number and to either simply call them up, cold call them, or send them a text message. That's without the doubt the best way of doing it. You could also send them a mailer, but it's going to be a lot more expensive. You're going to be spending on average probably 50 cents per mailer. And normally you got to mail someone between 5 and 10 times before they respond. So you're going to be an average $2, $3, $4 to get someone to call you back, opposed to costing you, 17 cents or something to get their phone number and call them. And then once you have that phone number, you can call them an indefinite number of times, right? So it's so much more efficient. Sorry, my computer's a little slow here, but I got a lot of data in here, almost 200,000. But yeah, so you can get all your stuff right off here, pull all your motivated sellers right off here. If you guys want any type of tutorial on how to do that, how to pull lists, the best list to pull, anything on here, I can do that for you as well. But definitely get their phone number. Go to batchskiptracing.com, code Estes, okay, right here. And you can get their phone number. Then from there, you can text them or you can call them. That's what I would recommend. And that's what we do heavily in my business is we send a shit ton of text messages every day, between 5 and 10,000 every day. And we're also sending RVMs, right? Voicemails. And we're sending anywhere from between 10 and 20,000 of those a day. And that just makes the phone calls come in rapid fire, right? So our goal is to get 50 leads every single day in my company. In order to get 50 leads a day, we got to be talking to a lot of people. We got to put about a lot of marketing, right? So it all comes down to reverse engineering what your goals are, guys, right? And that's the first step in my program, is always knowing from you guys what your income goals are. Once I know your income goals, I can break that all the way down depending on what your lifestyle is, right? How many hours you want to work a day, what's your lifestyle, what you want to be doing, what your team looks like, right? I help you break all that down, and I'll help you determine how many leads you need to get every single day based on what you're doing for marketing and what your lifestyle is. How many leads you need every single day to hit your income goal. That's always the first step, right? Then we can break it down. But it all comes down to leads, and always comes down to talking to a lot of people. And I found the easiest way is to text and to cold call into RVM. But you can do mail too if you want. Or you can also do PPC, you can do Facebook, stuff like that as well. But when you're just starting on a smaller budget, pulling in motivated sellers list and texting them and calling them is really, really efficient. It's inexpensive, and you can talk to a lot of people and make a lot of offers. All right. I know if you've already been a student of mine, you're going to get it for free. You're going to get it for free. So you'll just be you'll be notified. You'll be put into the group will be updated, and you're going to get all the new curriculum for free. Okay, what do you recommend when it comes to virtual wholesaling? I don't know what this means. I need a little bit more information on that question. What do I recommend? Well, there's a lot of things, right? I mean, I got my virtual wholesale course. I mean, I got hours and hours and hours and hours of content and scripts, and there's a lot of stuff to that. Elaborate on that question so I can answer it properly for you. You're finding deals with a property owner's name, then the word ETAL. What does that mean? I'm honestly not sure. ETAL. I'm not sure what that means. I'm not sure where you're getting your leads from or where you're pulling this information up, but let me know that. Perfect. If a seller is in the right ballpark for the asking price, how do you talk them down to a lower price? Well, good question. So say there aren't a ballpark, right? So usually the leads that I call hot leads, right? Or something that was in striking distance. Those are the leads that we try to work on in the company every single day. And they're usually within 20% of our MAO, right? So if our MAO is 120 and somebody wants 120 or below, we know that's a deal we can probably get. We can probably figure out a way, right? It all comes down to negotiations, but more than that, it comes down to a good script. And in that script, you got to figure out what the pain point is. Why do these people want to sell? What's going on in their life? How can this money help them? What are they going to spend the money on? What are they going to do with the money? Where are they going to go? Right? Have them paint that picture. Have them envision what they're going to do with that money and how it can transform their life. But more than that, once you figure out their pain point, you got to find a solution for them. If you can find a solution to whatever they're facing, right? That's your ticket to getting that lower price. It's helping people. Even though someone might want 120, you might be able to educate them on what the home is really worth. So what I like to do is, let's just say we're looking at a property here. This is one I just put under contract the other day, right? So this is a property put under contract and details, right? Whatever it is, I think we got it for 20-something thousand, right? Estimated value is 60. I'm not sure what they started off with. I can listen back in. But what it comes down to is when I'm looking at my comps here, right? I'm looking at my comps and I'm looking to find out what other investors paid for houses in the area, right? Let's just say that I'm looking for similar houses in the area. But I'm just going to use this as an example. I'm going to play with these numbers a little bit just to explain. So what I would do is I always have the screen up, right? I always have the screen up when I'm talking to sellers. And what I do is I might say, well, yeah, I understand you want $30,000 for this property, but I'm looking around the area and I'm looking at this house over here on Boone Street, right? Are you familiar with Boone Street? It's right next to you. And I'm looking at this house and it looks very, very similar to the condition of your house. And from what you explained to me, and this one just sold for $25,000, right? So I'm giving them anchors, right? That's what in this business, what we call in my company, we call these anchors, right? So what we're doing is we're justifying our price. And it makes them realize that we're not just throwing out a low ball offer. We're trying to steal their property. We're not trying to come in out of nowhere with just an offer that doesn't make sense. We are justifying our price based on other cash sales in the area, right? So this cash sale here, this one here had an estimated value of $84,000, right? But you can see all the work that it needs, right? And this one sold for $15,000. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use this as anchors to justify my price. And I'm going to use a combination of this with urgency, right? Letting them know I don't have unlimited funds. I'm talking to a lot of other people, right? So I'm going to put some pressure on them. I'm going to find out what their pain points are. I'm going to solve that pain point. I'm going to make them imagine them spending this money and how good their life is going to be when it's all said and done. I'm going to make the process completely hassle-free and simple, right? I'm going to use all these different techniques, plus about 20, 30 other techniques I got in my tool bag, right, that I teach all my students in order to get this price down, right? And this is just stuff that I've learned after being in this business 16, 17 years now doing this shit. You learn this stuff, right? After talking to thousands and thousands of people, you kind of figure this stuff out. So that's a couple techniques to kind of answer your question of some things that you can do to help you. I know that's a lot of information for a short amount of time, but use that information, right? Find out the pain point, solve the pain point, put urgency on them. That's a big one, right? If you let the offer sit out there forever, they're never going to make a decision, never going to go down. Urgency is a big one, actually. And use your anchors. Let them educate them on what's selling on them around them. Nobody wants to sell their house for the lowest in the neighborhood. But if they know Betty Joe over here just sold their property for $17,000 and they're asking 30 and you're asking 20, well, guess what? There's someone else in the neighborhood that sold for less than you, so you don't look like a chump, right? So we use a combination of a lot of different things, but that's a few things that can help you really, really quickly. Okay? If you like that, if that helped you out, if you found that valuable, show me some love here. If you guys could share this video, you guys know I don't hold back. I give you guys the real deal inside my business, the shit that no one else is talking about. All right. A best list to pull and how, especially in competitive markets. Sure. I'll show you a couple lists right now. I pull all my lists right in here, right inside PropStream. All right. As you can see, I had 200,000 names and addresses in here. And right inside here, you can pull all these different lists in a combination of whatever. Now, the lists that I like right now are vacant houses, right? Vacant houses are huge right now because of what's going on in the economy, right? Of what's going to be happening, right? There's a lot of people without work, a lot of people without income. And a vacant house is sitting there, rotting into the ground. We'll be losing value here shortly once the price as the economy starts going down, right? This house is going to lose value. They're paying taxes on it. They're not doing anything with it. The condition's getting worse, right? And you say all this shit to the people too, right? When you're talking to them. And so they know the writing on the wall when they have a vacant property. So I like vacant properties. Pre-foreclosures are always good. Anyone that's in pre-foreclosure probably can't get out of pre-foreclosure. Once someone gets that far behind, they're not going to catch up. So you solve that problem for them, save them from getting the bank on their ass and ruining their credit, and stop the phone calls and the harassment, and just make that pain point go away if you can, right? So that's another one, pre-foreclosures. I like liens too. Tax liens are good too. But if I had to pick two, it would probably be vacant and pre-foreclosures, the ones, right? Let me just give you a little bit of a secret sauce here, guys, for anyone's on this live of how I do this, right? If I'm picking a vacant property, I like to go residential, right? I pick my property type here. I usually do single family. I can do multi, and I do 5-unit plus. I don't do a whole lot with condos. You can if you want. MLS status, on market, I hit no here. I don't want to deal with any properties on the market. I get this question all the time with people sending me deals or want to know, hey, Nick, is this a deal? This house is listed on the market. If it's on the market, 99% of the chance it's not a deal. I don't want to look at those. Those are all bullshit. I don't want to look at anything on the market. Ownership info. I usually like to have someone to own the house for a few years to know they didn't just spend a bunch of money on it. Usually they're not going to be too motivated. They just bought the property, right? So put that back a few years. Ownership type. I only target individuals, right? Because I want to skip trace these people and get their phone number. Corporations, and you can't get their phone number without doing a little bit of digging. Trust, you can't get their phone number. So I do individuals. And then valuation. I make sure it has equity in the property. Depending on the area of where I'm doing this, competitive markets, I might do 40%, 40 to 100, right? I might do 40 to 100 there. And then you can always do estimated value too. You know, you might not want to deal with anything over, depending on the market, let's say over 400,000, right? So what's going to happen here is it's going to compile all this vacant list down based on what area you choose, right? So that's some basic insight of how I do that and how I recommend you do it when you're pulling your list. Obviously, there's a lot of other data points you can put in here, right? You can really get granular with your data, but I don't like to get it too small, you guys, right? Like I said, we're in the business of we need to be talking to as many people as possible. There's a direct correlation between the number of people you talk to and the amount of money you make. And I can guarantee you the person who talks to more people and makes more offers, at the end of the day, is going to be making more money. It's no coincidence. So what do I try to do in my business? I try to talk to as many people as humanly possible. At the end of the day, I know if we're exhausting our resources and every single person in my office is calling nonstop every single day, we're doing everything in our power to make as much money as possible. Obviously, there's more that goes into it, right? Technique, into scripts and negotiating and good data and, you know, good skip tracing and all that kind of stuff. There's always the small tweaks. But at the end of the day, the guy that makes the most offers is the guy that wins. So don't forget that. All right. Dustin, what's up, my man? Dustin's another big wholesaler and buyer in Ohio. So if you guys have any deals in Ohio, hit up Dustin. He is a buyer there. He's a good guy. He'll treat you right. He's bought a lot of my deals. All right. You're just starting. Should we send mass text messages? Sure. Okay. So let's go over this a little bit. Yeah. So if you go into batch leads, they have a lot of videos that show you how to do this, right? But it's very, very simple. You simply upload your list that you download from here, right? So let's just say that I pick one of my lists here, right? Let's just say that I'm going to pick this. Here's a small list. My Cleveland bankruptcy list, right? 25 people. All right, I have other lists here that are different. Here's a Cleveland high equity list, 4,600 people. So let's just say I want to take and I want to text all these people that have a lot of equity in Cleveland, right? And I want to text message all these people. Now think about what I just said in my previous statement. You know, should you do mass text messaging when you start? Well, how many people do you want to talk to? How much money do you want to make? The more people you talk to, the more text messages you send, the greater opportunity you have of getting a deal and the faster you have of getting a deal. Yes, you can start off slow. Yes, you could send maybe 10 messages a day. It all depends on your goals. Do you want to make, you just got to use the stats, right? Let me share my stats in my business. I get one quality lead for about every 200 text messages that I send. Okay. One quality lead. So think about that. And when you're first starting off, I tell people you're probably going to close about 1 in every 70 leads. Once you get better, I like to have you get it down to around 1 in 35. But when you're starting, if you know you got to do 200 text messages to get one lead, right? And it's going to take 70 leads to get a deal. What's that telling me? That tells me I got to text message 14,000 people to get one deal, right? You see how much of a numbers game this is? So what does that mean? So that means, yeah, I would recommend that you start off sending a lot of texts if you want, if you feel comfortable, right? Obviously, you got to feel comfortable when you're first starting. There's that comfort level first, right? You got to get in the zone. You got to get good to talking to sellers, because you don't want to waste these leads too. You don't want to be sending thousands of messages a day. If maybe it's your first week and you don't really know how to reply yet, you really don't know what to say, and you're still having a trouble speaking to people, or your confidence just isn't quite high enough yet. If that's the case, yes, start off until you feel comfortable. Then once you get that comfort level where you're like, okay, I got this, I can do this, that's when I suggest you do go all in, right? Like I said, you can send inside batch, one person, you can send 5,000 text messages and reply to everybody probably within a day, 4 or 5 hours, you can do that. And, let's just think about that for a minute. If I'm sending 5,000 text messages divided by 200, that's 25 leads. I can get 25 leads in one day by sending 5,000 text messages, right? So that's pretty much this list right here. I got 4,600 people in this list. So if I want to text message this entire list, I'd probably get 20, 25 leads. And in my business, we could probably close one of these. We're doing about 1 in 35 right now. We could probably close one of those, right? Last Friday, I was on the phone for 6 hours just calling people. I think I called 400 leads, and I got about 300 leads, and I got 5 deals. Yeah, so in one day, right? So it's all possible, but yeah, so it's a comfort level. When you're ready, go all in. If you're not quite ready yet, don't waste your leads, right? Because you don't want to. Leads are valuable, right? Leads are very valuable, and I tell people this all the time as well. A good lead is very valuable. In my business, our average deal size is about $15,000. Our average deal size. Now, if I think about it that way, and I'm closing one in, let's say, 35, right? That means each lead is probably worth in my business around $428. If my average deal size is 15,000 and I'm closing one in 35, in my business, each one of my leads, right, in my CRM, right? And if I pull up my CRM, I got, 7,000 leads in there. Each one of those is potentially worth $428. Now, you don't want to waste those. But when you are ready, I do suggest you do it because it's a numbers game in this business. Okay. But if you go on to batchskiptracing.com, there's a lot of videos that show you exactly how to do this, how to upload your list, all that kind of stuff. I'll just put it in here right now so you guys can see, but it's super simple to upload your list. So all you would do is you take your list. So I would take my list. I would take my list right here. So I would say I'm still on this Cleveland list. Say I wanted this list and I want to text message everybody. Right? I would simply take this list. I would select all of them, and I would hit export right here, guys. I would export. I would export that into a CSV file, right? And it would download into my computer, right? And then I go over to batch skip tracing. Right? And it says submit your list. Boom. I hit this button, submit my list. And it has a little video here, right? And it shows you how to upload the list in the right format. And all you do is you take your folder, you drag and drop it right here, and you hit submit. Can you see that? Let me scroll up a little bit farther. You drag and drop right here, and you hit submit. Super, super simple, right? And like I said, right here, the cost is 20 cents. Use my code to get 20% off. And it was yesterday, I think I uploaded, I can show you my receipt. It was, I think it was like 8,000 I skipped yesterday, and all but maybe 50 I got back, right? So the hit rate was, like 98%, 99%. So the quality is there, guys. Best in the business. That's why I use it, and that's why I recommend it. Hopefully that answers some questions. All right. How many areas do you recommend saturating with bandit signs at a time for a first-time wholesaler? Should a new wholesaler focus on one community, several communities within a certain realm? So, yeah. So with bandit signs, you got to test bandit signs in your area. Some areas, they work a lot better than others. Okay. Motivated sellers list like this I'm showing here, this works everywhere, right? Because these people are motivated, right? I'm hitting vacant lists, I'm hitting bankruptcy lists, right? I'm hitting divorce lists, I'm hitting liens, I'm hitting pre-foreclosures, right? I'm hitting all these different lists. So I know there's motivation in these lists, but if you're doing bandit signs, once again, it's the same thing though. It does come down to numbers. The more you put up, the more likelihood you're going to have of people seeing them and calling you. Now, I would focus on areas, probably on areas that have the housing is a little less expensive, right? A little bit rougher areas, most likely, because there's going to be more deals in those areas. But ideally, if you're going to be going on appointments, if it was me, when I first started, I put out fucking bandit signs like it was nobody's business, right? All day, every day, middle of the night, whatever it took, I'm out there hammering up fucking bandit signs, right? In the middle of the night with a little thing in my head, right? I mean, you do what you got to do. And what I did was I put it within like a 30-mile radius of around me, where I was living at the time, because I knew that's kind of what I wanted to drive. I didn't want to go 2 hours to an appointment, right? I wasn't doing anything virtual when I first started. This virtual thing really wasn't a thing. We didn't have the resources. Remember, this was 16, 17 years ago. So I recommend focus on the lower income areas, the lower housing areas, and just do it in a radius. Do it in a radius around you if you can. Okay. We are still going strong here in my team. I get messages. Okay. Sorry about that, guys. PPC lead just came in. All right. Okay. So that's what I would recommend. Go within a radius that you want to drive to go on appointments, and try to focus. If you're depending on how many signs that you have, right, and your budget, if you have to focus on smaller areas, focus on the areas with more distressed properties, other than the high-end areas. High-end areas, you're not going to get as many leads with bandit signs. Okay. You're welcome. You're welcome. Do you ever use real estate agents to find a buyer for your deals? Crap. More deals coming in. All right. Okay. Not really. Well, I'll tell you what I do. And this is the way that I teach it in my new program. I have an 8-step process to selling all my deals. And I can usually sell all my deals within 48 hours, right? If it's a deal, it is gone within minutes usually. Now, the last resort, step 8 of my 8-step process is if I don't find a buyer by step 7, I will contact some real estate agents that I know to see if they have any buyers that maybe I don't know about. But keep in mind, agents work on commission. So they're going to take a piece of the pie from you. So if you don't mind losing a piece of your profit to an agent, then that's fine. But me personally, I want to keep all that money, right? I work hard for these leads. We spend a lot of money on data, right? I got employees, I got overhead, right? I got all kinds of stuff. We need to make as much money on every deal as we can. So yes, you can use agents, but you have to a lot of agents will fuck it all up, okay? They don't know how to work with investors. They don't know what wholesaling is. And they're going to try to use their contracts and do it their way and all this other stuff. So you need to make sure they understand that if you are going to use an agent, they have to be investor friendly. Let them know that we're using my contract, we're using my closing company, we're doing shit my way. But if you want to bring a buyer in and take a small commission, that's fine. That's how I handle it. That's step 8 of my 8-step process, because I'm going to make less money by having an agent do the work for me that I could do. Okay. Yeah, list source is good. So if you know how to do that, I teach that in my program as well. Not only how to find the best zip codes. So if you're in a city, you can use list source to back out of how to find the zip codes of the most cash buyers. And you could also do this inside Estes data prop stream. If you go here, it's similar, right? You can pull up zip codes, right? Very easily. Like this is the zip code that I live in, 33138. So let's just say I pull up my zip code here in Miami, right? And I want to see, I can test areas for cash buyers by looking right here. 2,110 cash sales, right? Or if I put in a different zip code, which is on the beach, 33139, is going to be less. Oh, crap. It doesn't even show me that. Oh, hold on. One second. Here we go. Oh, still doesn't work. Might not. Oh, here it is. Actually, it says 10,000 cash sales. But that's probably not, we don't want that. We want no, non or owner occupied. So either way, it's not what I thought, but yes. So you can use this here as well to look at your cash sales, right? And you can put it in any type of market, any type of zip code that you're in. Where I'm originally from, 04101, Portland, Maine. 156 cash sales, right? Obviously not as many in a smaller market, right? So what you can do is you can use estesdata.com to do the same thing and try to find those hub zip codes where cash buyers are buying it. Okay, you can do that in list source or in here. Okay. ETL means there are other owners not listed. All right, good information. Good information. Yeah, so right now the program is set up where we get on a phone call each week, but in the new program that's going to be starting in here in a couple of weeks, it will be a video chat like this, where you actually come in like a Zoom or a Facebook Live, so we can actually see a screen and face-to-face and really get to help each other. And that's once a week. Every week we get on a phone call and we go through all this shit and I personally help you, right? So yes, that is included. And I think that's very, very important. Because even with as much content as I give you, you're still going to have questions. You have questions about deals. And I want to be able to give you that personal help so you can succeed, right? That's what it's all about. Okay. How can I find comps for land? Well, you can find it right here on estesdata.com. Let's just go to, I don't know. If I put in the zip code, right? Let me just try to do this for you. We'll go back to my zip code here that I'm in. Make it easy. I don't know if there's any cash sales or not, but what you can do is the zip code, and I can go here to property characteristics, and I can go property type, and I can go vacant. Right here, there's a tab. Vacant land. No, there's no vacant land. Hold on. Let me do Miami. Vacant land. Actually, let me just do this. Sorry. So let's just say, for instance, I mean, this is not the greatest example, right? This is just off the fly, so it's probably not going to be that good. But let's just say that this is the piece of vacant land that I want to know how much it's worth, okay? I would go into here, right? And I would simply look for vacant land and see what it's selling for. So I'd put my date range back, whatever I want, right? And I would take and property type, same thing. Oh, actually, property class, I would go vacant land. Okay, let's put this out a little ways. Okay, so now what I can do is when this loads up, it's going to tell me what all the vacant land sold for within the last year. Okay, this is within 4 miles, and you can do closer than that or whatever you want, right? But what I can see here is obviously this is a high-end area, what I'm looking at. And you're going to be able to see some similarities. So if you can see this here, if I blow this up so you can see that, but you can see, right, that there's a lot of similarities here. 435, 485, 402, 385, 485, 395, right? So what am I getting at here? What I'm getting at is, even though it's not scientific, this isn't perfect, there are some data points you got to look at. I mean, this pretty much tells me that, you know, land in this area is selling for around 400,000, right? 389, 402, 397, 395, 393, right? So in this area, and if I zoom in even more, it's going to be even more compressed with all the, you know, because different neighborhoods are different prices. But if I go into one area, all the prices should be even more similar, right? So you can see, well, all these are pretty much all right at like 390, between 382 and 395, right? And you can do this in any market. So what's this telling me? I'm going to assume maybe this land's worth 390,000. If I want to say worst case scenario, it's worth 385 or 380. And I know if I'm wholesaling this land, right, I want to make a profit. So I have to get it underneath 380. See how simple that is? Not much to it. Not much to it. And I can do cash sales as well. This might change it a little bit. Yeah, we see the same thing. These are all cash sales, and they're all right around 400,000. So if I'm going to wholesale this, I want to get this at probably 370 or below in order to make a profit. So that's how you comp land, and that's how you determine how much you can pay for land. You do it all right in here, right inside estesdata.com. Latin and others. Okay, cool. Cool. What is the estimated value that PropStream gives? So the estimated value is like the Zestimate, right? If you're familiar with Zillow, it gives you like a Zestimate. And what they do, but I find that PropStream is a lot more accurate because it's really pulling all these comps that has all this data here. And what it's doing is it's compiling this and coming up with an idea of what they believe it's worth. So it's like their estimated value. It's like the Zestimate, but for PropStream. Okay. You guys liking this? If you're liking this, show me some love, guys. Show me some love. Please share this video. Like I said, I've been on here almost an hour now. I'll go for 1 more hour tonight. I always do these at least 2 hours. Try to provide as much resources and much knowledge into the community, because I don't believe that people are helping you. Everyone's just giving you half the story. So if you like this, please get the word out. I would appreciate it. Okay. Would you say that you use? Yeah, I use PropStream. I would say 99% of it, unless I can't find something on here, which is rarely happens. But I use it for everything. Yes, that's what I use in my company. That's what all my guys in my company use. They all have their own login, and this is what we're using all day, every day to comp houses and make offers over the phone. We don't use any other program. Okay, if you anchor yourself based off a sold comp, isn't that what buyers are buying at? So wouldn't you need to price it? Yeah, so good question. To go back at my recent, when I was showing you those anchors, when I'm doing that in my on my script to try to get the people down, I'm always giving anchors less than I know that I can pay. I'm finding those low anchors, less than what I know that my offer is going to be, right? So there's always going to be those obscure properties that sold for really low values. I mean, there's always that, right? You can pretty much always, 95% of the time, find an anchor that sold for less than what you're going to offer. And those are the ones you give. You got to find the low anchors, okay? What percent of contracts do you not sell? Good question. Good question. A lot of people don't talk about that. In my business, we're right around, I think last quarter we're around 18% of deals, which is pretty good for doing things virtually. When you're starting, I like to have I call that my drop rate. In my company, and that's how I teach it. I call that your drop rate. I like to have that below 50% when you're starting. And I know that seems high, but once you get going and once you're into it for a few months, by the end of your first year, I like to have that below 25%. But that's what mine is, around 18%. Okay, have you adjusted your cash buyer discount lower than usual ARV with a bit more? Yeah, so we're buying on average, we might be buying on average 10% lower than we were. It's not, the market is still really strong. The market is still really strong right now. I don't know how long it will be, but I would say on average 10% lower. When I'm doing this in my business, when I'm doing it virtually, I don't do the formula. I teach the formula if you're just starting. In my new step-by-step program, I teach the formula. In my virtual program, we don't use a formula because we're not actually seeing the properties, right? I'm showing you how to do this sight unseen. So I show you how to do that based on using these comps here. And what the people are telling you the condition is over the phone, right? You're matching these up with what cash investors are paying for similar condition houses. And then you're buying for less than that, right? So there's a few different ways to come up with your MAO. I know that's a long-winded explanation for your question, but I am buying probably on average 10% lower than I was 6 months ago. If you suck at sales, what can you do? Well, you can talk to more people. There's only one way to do this and get better is to practice. You got to fall on your face multiple times, get back up and do it again, right? You're gonna suck. Pretty much everyone sucks when they start. I mean, there's only a few people that are amazing at sales, right? I've become good at sales because I've talked to thousands and thousands and thousands of sellers. And until you do that, you probably are going to suck. But so what? Even with you sucking, I guarantee you probably get 1 in 70 deals. Because not every time you need to negotiate, you don't need to negotiate the price down that low. Hold on, let's see what this deal is. More deals coming in. Okay. But like I said, so there's always going to be that low-hanging fruit, guys. There's always going to be that low-hanging fruit that when someone comes in, they're pretty much at your MAO, or they might tell you they're 10, 20% below, but then you give them your offer. They're like, okay, I'll take it. I need to sell, right? That's always that low-hanging fruit. And that's how you get your traction. Because even though you might not be amazing on the phone, but eventually you keep on moving, you keep on going forward, you're going to get that first win. And once you get that first win, you'll get your next win, then your next win, your next win, and then you become confident. And the trick to sales is your confidence. I'm very, very aggressive on the phone. I'm very, very confident because I've talked to so many people and I teach people, right? And after you do it so many times, it becomes natural. And it comes for confidence. And you're only going to get confidence if you do it a lot. So fall on your face multiple times, get back up, take your bloody nose, wipe out your tears, and do it again. All right, man? I'm not sure who this is, but You can do it. Anyone can do it. I suck when I started, okay? All right. Well, we got a lot of questions here. Okay, when you text your leads, you get an offer on the phone. You give an offer on the phone too. At what point do you speak with them on the phone? Yeah, so as soon as I send the text message, okay. So let's say I'm sending out my text message inside batch leads, right? I'm sending out all my text messages. Now, what we're doing is we're qualifying them. And keep in mind, when we're doing this, when I'm sending out text messages, all we're doing, it's a very, very simple message, right? I see people get hung up on this all the time too, is try to come up with this slick text that's going to trick people into selling their house. There is no slick text. And it's going to come off salesy and sleazy, and they're not going to want to deal with you if they just think you're a salesperson. What you want to be doing is coming off like the person next door, like their friend, like their buddy. Hey, I'm looking to buy a house in the area. Would you even consider getting an offer on your house? That's how simple it is. And that's a message that I send to 5,000 people. And you know what? You're going to get 2, 3, 4 times extra response by saying, hey, I'm a cash buyer. I'm going to buy your house as is condition. You can walk away, and you're going to say all this stuff, and it's going to screw it up. Simpler the better. Come in from the guy next door, girl next door. Hey, I'm looking to buy a house. I love the area. Would you ever consider selling? Would you consider getting an offer on your property? Say something like that, and you're going to get great response. Okay. Now, next thing, what you want to be doing, if they say yes, your immediate next text is, okay, great. Can we just get on a quick phone call? Do you have a couple minutes when you get a quick phone call so I can learn a little bit more about the property? You immediately want to get them on the phone. I mean, if you want to pre-qualify these people and say, can you tell me a little bit, if you want to text them back, can you tell me a little bit more about the condition, and do you have a price you're looking for? You can do that. But when you're starting, I would much rather have you on the phone. So as soon as they send back, yeah, I'll be interested in getting an offer, boom. Do you have time with the next, in urgency? Once again, urgency. Do you have time within the next maybe 10, 15 minutes to get a quick phone call so I can just see, I get a little more information about your property and get you an offer? Okay, boom. And then when you get on the phone call, you go right into your cold call script or your sales script. And all you're doing is you're getting data from these people. You're gauging their motivation. Oh, great. So what about the condition? What do you think it's like between a 1 and 10? How soon do you want to sell? Right? Do you have a ballpark price of what you're looking for? Right? You're asking just some basic questions to gauge their motivation. And then if you're doing it virtually, if there is motivation, you're going into your sales scripts. If you're doing it in your market and you're first starting off, okay, great. It seems like just the type of property I'm looking for. Are you available this evening around 5 o'clock where I can come over, take a good look at it and get you an offer? Okay. So immediately on the phone, and if it's virtual, you're going right into an offer, right? If you're doing it in your own market, you're going out to an appointment that same day or next day, right? Urgency. And you're going out, seeing them face to face and giving them an offer. That's the process. Send me a message. Beautiful. How much would 5,000 skip trays cost? Well, hold on. Do the math for you. $900. How to find Section 8 buyers, slumlords. Well, okay. I'm assuming you're talking about cash buyers. I'll show you right here again. Let's just say that I got to take this filter off. And let's say I'm looking for a property around here in this area. Let's say I have this property. I'm assuming this is your question. I'm not sure. I'm not sure why you want to find slumlords, but let's just say that you're in this area. And let's just say, for instance, I know this is not a multifamily, but let's just say that this is my property. I'm trying to find a buyer, a multifamily buyer, and I have a Section 8 property. I'm assuming this is what you're saying. All right, so I'm going in here. I'm going to estesdata.com, right? You can see I use this tool for everything, right? Okay, so I'm going in here. Now I'm looking for cash buyers, but what I'm looking for is, actually I'm gonna go to cash buyers right here. And then I'm gonna go to property type. I'm gonna go to multifamily. Is it a 2 to 4 family? Is it a 5 unit plus? What is it? So I know in this area, what do I got? I got 51 cash buyers in this area. Now, all I got to do is, I know all these people are buying multifamilies. I don't know if they're slumlords. I don't know if they buy Section 8, but that doesn't really matter. If it's a good deal, any investor that buys multifamilies will buy this deal. All you got to do is you got to go down through these now. You click into it. Very simple. I guarantee you this is a cash buyer. I know it's a cash buyer, but it's probably an LLC. That's something real estate related, right? These are your cash buyers I'm looking at. Here we go. TJE17 LLC. I'm not sure what that means, but that's an LLC that buys multifamily properties in this neighborhood, right? Boom. Very, very simple. I go back here. See how simple this is? I'm only looking at 1 mile radius around this property too. Say I want to go to 3 miles. I got 51 cash buyers. Now I got 150 plus cash buyers, right? So I can look in any area I want. And I can pull up every single one of these, hit details, and my computer's going slow. Okay, I don't even know what this says. Ken something LLC. I don't even know what that says right there. Long ass word. Something Kazawa. I don't know what that says. Anyways, it's an LLC that buys multifamily properties, right? And I can keep on doing this over and over and over again until I go through all of these people. I find out who owns the LLC. I call them up. Hey, are you looking for properties in the area? I got this great deal. I got a price below market value. Are you interested? Are you a buyer? Are you still looking for properties? If they are, perfect, right? There's no easier way to find cash buyers than right on here, because these are the legit cash buyers. You know that every single person on here bought for cash. There's no doubting it. And if someone tells you they're a cash buyer, but you can't find them on this list, they're not a cash buyer. They're fucking full of shit, because there's no record of them buying a property for cash. So I go to the straight facts. I don't want any other bullshit. I won't be talking to people that tell me they're buyers, but they're really not. They're fucking wholesalers, right? I want cash buyers. I'm going to go to the source and I'm going to see who bought properties for cash. So you can do this for whatever you want. If you have condos, you find out who's buying condos, who's buying single family, whatever you want. Right now I'm looking at multifamily. So that's how you do it. And that is in my process, my 8-step process. I think that's number 5 or 6 of what I do to find buyers for my properties. Okay. Came in late. What do you do with your list? Send mail, call, text? No, I don't send any mail. I call and text. Okay? Master. I like that. Thank you. All right, do the math. Someone did the math for you. Nice. What do you do if you're in a limited budget? Well, if you can't afford that, there are skip trace services that are free. You go to, hold on here. I believe but keep in mind, it's not going to be as accurate, guys. It's not going to be as accurate. It's going to take you a shitload of time. Okay. You can go to like this website right here, truepeoplesearch.com, and it's free. Put in the information, put in the person's address, and hit search, and it'll probably give you some phone numbers, right? Then there's all kinds of other like free skip tracing softwares. But keep in mind, if you want to do 5,000 people, you got to enter 5,000 people in manually, right? And it's not going to be as accurate. But it's an option, right? It's free. So how bad do you want to make money? If I had zero money, I'd probably stay up all night. I probably wouldn't sleep. I would get it done. That's just my mentality. I would do whatever it took. So that's an option. Then once you do your first deal, take that money, invest in a better software, and upgrade, right? But talk to as many people as you want. If you can't afford skip tracing, or if you don't want to use this, go start knocking on doors. Get a list. Go out to the property. Start knocking on doors. Print up something on your computer. Leave it on people's doors. I mean, there's all kinds of ways, right, to do this. All kinds of ways to do this. You just got to get creative if the budget's low. And I'm not saying that, you might be able to do better than what I do in my business of 200 to get one lead, because I'm buying big ass lists, right? And I can show you how to compile this data on here to get really, really granular and really, really motivated sellers, right? Because you can do all kinds of data points. I can find people who are in pre-foreclosure and they have a tax lien and the house is vacant, right? And I can compile all that down to maybe 50 people that have super motivation, right? And then maybe I'm just trying to hit those 50 people, right? So if you have a small budget and you don't want to talk to that many, you can't afford to talk to a lot of people, you got to get better with your data, right? So then you take and you stack pain points, right? I stack pain points. So I'll go up here. Okay, I'm going to pick properties that are vacant and maybe they're in pre-foreclosure or they're in bankruptcy, and they're going through a divorce and they have tax delinquents, or the tax delinquents and they're going through bankruptcy and it's vacant, right? You can mix and match all this shit and come up with what you believe to be the most motivated list that you can afford. Then take that small pile and go to True People Search. Get those numbers for free, or go knock on those doors, right? Whatever it takes. Where there's a will, there is a way for anything in this world, right? I started this business when I was 20 years old. You think I had any money? Zero. Only thing I had working for me is a work ethic, and the same work ethic that I have today, right? I'm on this live with you guys. I don't have to be on here. I do it to provide value, but I'm going to get down here. I'll stay on here for another hour. I usually do at least 2 hours. Then I'm going to go back to working tonight. I'll work till 12 o'clock, probably 1 o'clock, because I got shit that I want to do. I got goals that I want to hit, right? And I'm not willing to sacrifice other things in my life to hit my ultimate goals. So if you're willing to sacrifice some things to get to something else, that's the recipe to bring you ultimate success. Where there's a will, there's a way. You can do it, even on a limited budget. You can rewatch this. You'll be able to rewatch this on my YouTube channel and inside my Facebook group. Okay. And anyone on here that's not part of my Facebook group, make sure you're in there. We're dropping value every day. I'm not sure what that means. How to do comps using Redfin. I have no idea. I don't use Redfin. PropStream is not bringing up any good data from my C+ neighborhood. Could you see if you could pull up some comps? Okay, we'll see what this is all about. You ask? Let's do it. 12th Street. What number? I need a number. That's not going to help me. You got to know what I'm comping. Is this it? Let's see if anything comes up. Well, I got a whole friggin' street here. I'm just going to pick one. I don't know which one's yours. All right, I'm just going to pick, I guess it doesn't really matter. I'm going to pick this one. All right, let's see what I'm seeing. Not much. All right, so I don't know much about these properties. This must be a pretty rural area. All right, let's just see what happens here. Oh, there's comps. I can see comps here. I don't know what size property this is or what it is, but I got it up here. I just don't know. I don't know what you want. I mean, I got comps on 12th Street, cash sales on 12th Street. Is it 12th? Yeah, 12th Street. Around this area, 4,000, 7,000, 7,500. Can you guys see that? Blow this up. So all the closest properties around here are 5,000, 7,000, 7,500, 7,000. So what's this telling me? Cash buyers are buying in this area anywhere between $5,000 and $7,000 depending on the condition. So is this vacant land? Hold on a second. Property type, single family. Hold on. All right, let's check out one. Okay, so as you can see, that pretty rough. Definitely needs some work, but it looks like this is kind of the area, right? And what I'm seeing here, that one sold for 7,000. This one sold for 5,500. So I don't know this area well, but I'm assuming that is right near your property. Because what PropStream does is it always puts the closest ones first, right? It puts the closest ones first. So these are the closest properties. So what I'm seeing is, I mean, realistically, if you want to make this deal, I don't know sure the condition of it, but if all the cash sales in the area are selling for around 5,000, 7,000, you got to get this deal for like under $1,000 in order to sell it for maybe between 5 and 7 and make $5,000. Okay, that's what I'm thinking on top of my head just by seeing this, because always look at these first ones are always the most critical, and they're all right between 5 and 7,000. So I know that's what cash buyers are paying. Hopefully that helps. You sent me a message. No, I didn't send you a message. I don't know who that is. I'm not seeing all comments. I don't know. How much offer? Okay. So how much percent less would you offer for land? So if our home's at 70% value, what's the land? Yeah. So what I just showed you, I'm looking at cash sales when I'm looking at land. So I'm filtering the cash sales like I am here. So I'm seeing what investors are paying for land. So I just want to get it below what investors are paying for land. I don't need to do a 70% discount. Okay. If I'm looking at cash sales, if I'm looking at retail sales, then yes, I do. I'll just do 70%. There's no repairs. I mean, land is land. So just take your 70% minus your fee. Okay. I actually had someone tell me if I ever called them again, they would eat me like a chicken bone. No, I've never had that. Peter, we got to work on your script, my man. We got to work on what you're telling these people. I haven't heard that. We gotta figure out what your intro is. Your intro to your script is one of the most important parts of your script. The first 10 seconds makes or break the phone call. So my guess is you're coming off a little too salesy. And they know that it's like a sales call, and they're sick of the sales calls. And you just got the bad end of the stick because they're sick of hearing from people, and you're the last one they talk to. That's my guess. But talk to me. We'll work on your script, my man. We don't want you getting those type of responses. It's pretty good. It is funny though. That is a good one. Shit, there's a lot of comments in here. I gotta go faster. A couple weeks for the new class. If you're interested, hit me up on IG or my Facebook. Send me a private message, and I will make sure you get in. How do you ethically back out of a contract? Pretty simply. I mean, you're ultimately, what you're doing is you're giving the seller an ultimatum. I mean, you're letting them know. You got to be honest with the people. Hey, listen, I screwed up. I thought that, after relooking at the deal, I thought it was gonna be worth more fixed up, but after looking at it, a little closely, I realized, the numbers aren't quite there. Or you let them know, hey, there's a lot more repairs to this property than I expected. Unfortunately, either we need to go down on price to whatever price you can make the deal work at, or I need to cancel the contract. Give them the option. I mean, not really an ultimatum, I guess it is, but it's an option. Hey, listen, my fault. I'm sorry. Right? I mean, you got to be a man of your word. And if you screw up, you screw up. It happens, right? Like I said, you fall forward. I thought the property was going to be worth more than I expected, or the repairs were just more than I expected. And, I can still move forward and close in a couple of weeks, but I got to be at this price now, or I need to cancel the contract. That's it. Simple. The truth always wins. I get some really bad responses. Same thing. You got to work on your script. Hit me up. If you want some training on this, you got to work on your script. You're coming off wrong. Where would you start finding investors? Right here. estesdata.com. That's where you get all your buyers from. Okay. There, and Facebook groups are good. Facebook groups, real estate related Facebook groups in your given market. But it's got to be in your market. Every single market has Facebook groups, right? So for Miami, I'm in Miami. I would search up top. I would put in Miami. I would go to groups, and I would join all the real estate related Facebook groups in my market, and you'll find buyers in there as well. But the true source of your real buyers that are proven to buy houses for cash are right on estesdata.com. Yes. Well, if you're just texting manually, then it probably makes sense to get another number. Just keep everything organized. That way, you're on your dial pad. You're not, you want to keep track of the people you're actually talking to and having conversations with, and the people that you're just marketing to. People you're having conversations with are hopefully leads, and that's easier to keep track of within one number. And then the other ones could be like a marketing number you're just texting out from. But if you're using a source like Batch to text with, they provide all the phone numbers for you. You don't have to use your phone number. They provide the phone numbers, right? Because when you're mass texting, you have to use a lot of different numbers, and they provide those numbers because they're always changing the numbers, and they do that for you. So Totally up to you. You can use the same phone number. Obviously, don't use your personal phone number, but you can use the same dial pad number if you want. I mean, it's not going to hurt anything. It just might be a little bit easier to keep organized if you had a different one, but it doesn't matter. It's not going to make or break a deal. It's not going to be the resource that makes you be successful or not. Nothing like that. It all depends on, it's a personal preference. I have an app called Burner. Okay. Maybe that one with that question before. Maybe it went with this question. Okay, I'm not sure. Yeah, there are different ways to get phone numbers, different apps. I recommend CallRail. And Dialpad. All right, one more comments. What's a good budget per month to start marketing? But once again, this comes down to a personal preference of what your goals are. How soon do you want to get a deal? The more money you invest in a marketing, the quicker you're going to get a deal, most likely. And it all depends on your resources too. Right? All this stuff, guys, comes down to a personal preference. I can show you ways to do this for hardly any money, or I can show you ways to streamline the process and make it super simple, but it's going to cost you a little bit more money and save you time. So do you have more time or do you have more money? That's going to depend on your budget. Ideally, if I had to pick a number out of the sky, I don't know, $500 to start. That's not a ton. A couple $100 a week, maybe $800. It all depends on how many people you want to talk to and how soon you want to get to your goal of doing your first deal. And it all depends on what marketing source you're doing as well. So there's a lot to that question. That's more of a personal, let me help you design a marketing plan type of question. Okay. P.O. box. I recommend a P.O. box. I never use my own address either on any of my stuff. Right. So if you're handing out business cards or you're doing whatever it may be, yeah, never put your personal address on anything. Do you tell your buyers that you're a wholesaler? Yes. Sellers, no. I want to make sure you ask that question correctly. But your buyers, yes. That's fine. The buyers know. Buyers love wholesalers because they've given them deals, right? That's their lifeblood. They need wholesalers to keep on pumping them deals into them so they can keep on making money, right? Essentially, wholesalers are giving buyers equity in deals. So that's fine. Sellers, no. You don't tell sellers you're a wholesaler. You tell them that, you're an investor, you're a buyer. When you're cold calling, how do you start the conversation? Well, I have a cold call script around here someplace. I can bring it up for you. I think I brought it up on last week's live, but it's very, very simple. You say the person's name. You don't ask for the person. If you ask for the person, they already know it's a sales call. If someone calls me and says, "Hey, is Nick there?" I'm probably going to hang up. Someone's trying to sell me something. I'm hanging up on their ass. Someone calls me up and goes, "Hey, Nick." I'm going to be like, "What's up?" Right? It all starts with the very first words you say. So even a slight change of words is saying from, "Hey, is Nick there?" to, "Hey, Nick," like you already know the person, automatically in that person's head, they're like, okay, they're going from, "Who's this? I must know this person," to, "Fuck this guy. I don't want to talk to the sales call," right? So automatically say the person's name like you know them. Be upbeat, right? There's a lot to this. You got to be upbeat. You got to be have a good tone in your voice. Tonality comes down to it. Then you're going right into it. "Hey, hey, whatever, I'm looking to buy a house in the area. You can say whatever you want, but pretty much there's a different ways of doing this. But ultimately, what you got to do is you got to just say, hey, I'm interested in buying a house in the area. I saw your property on whatever street. Would you be considered getting an offer on that property? Very, very simple. And you can say that a bunch of different ways, right? You say, hey, I'm interested in your property on 123 Main Street. Would you be open to getting an offer on that? You can say it that way. You can say, hey, I'm looking to buy a house in the area. Would you consider selling? Right? You can say it whatever you want, but keep it straightforward, not salesy, right? What I like to tell people is, and my students, think about if you were interested in the property you're calling about. You always got to put yourself in those shoes. If you were to call somebody, take your investor hat off. Take your wholesaling hat off. If you call someone up and you were generally interested in buying their property, what would you say? Think about that. And that's what I want you to say to the seller. What comes natural to you? Right? But most likely, it's going to be something around the lines of, hey, I'm interested in your property. Would you consider selling it? I'm not going to go into, if I was interested in buying someone's property, I wouldn't go into a whole sales speech of who I am, the benefits of working with me, and all these different crazy things of why they should do business with me. Right? No, I'm going to ask them, hey, I'm interested in your property. I like the property. Would you consider selling to me? Can I make you an offer? That's what you would say. Come genuine, be truthful, and say it as you would if you were somebody on the street and generally interested in someone's property. Right? That's how I do it. And that's how I suggest you do it. And that's the difference of how I do everything in my business. Is super, super simple, to the point, same way that I teach, right? Same way I'm talking to you guys right now is how I talk to my clients, how I talk to people on the phone. No difference. I'm direct to the point, and they can tell by my tone of voice and the way I speak to them that I mean business. I am who I say I am, and I'm going to do what I say, right? And that's how you guys should come off. And people can hear that in your voice. And if you're a direct, straight shooter and you're not trying to fill someone with a bunch of bullshit, you're going to have a lot of success in this business because you're truly trying to help people, right? I'm trying to help you guys here tonight. And when I'm making cold calls in my office, I'm trying to help people out of whatever the situation they're in. I'm trying to find their pain point, and I'm trying to help them out of that situation. And the bigger problem you solve, the more issues you solve for people, the more money you tend to make, right? We're trading equity in their property. They're giving up equity in their property for whatever service you're giving. You're helping them out of their whatever situation they're in. You're providing a service with speed and making it simple and hassle-free. You're buying an as-is condition so they don't have to do any work to it. Whatever their pain point is, you're tailoring your conversation around that, and you're generally, truly trying to help them. And if you do that every single day, you'll have major success in this business. Okay. I'm not sure what that means. What system do you use what system do you do for the follow-up leads? And if you are just starting, what way would you recommend to use for a follow-up system? Okay, cool. Good question. Follow-up is super, super important, guys. It's unlikely that you're going to get a deal on the first phone call. A lot of these deals are going to come from follow-up. Okay, so I do it in tiers, right? So when I'm talking to somebody, I'm putting them into different buckets based on the temperature of the lead. When I say temperature, I mostly mean their motivation. It's a hot lead, they have high motivation, and we're close on price, within 20%. If it's a warm lead, they want above 20%, but below retail. If it's a cold lead, they want retail price or above. Now, based on that information, is it going to depict how often I follow up with those leads, okay? If it's a warm lead, I'm going to follow up with them probably every couple of weeks. If it's a cold lead, I'm probably going to follow up with once a month, right? 12 times a year, I'm going to check in, see what's going on. Has anything changed in your life? You know, a lot of shit's happening in the world, guys. People are losing their jobs. The fucking world's crazy right now. You never know what's going to happen. One day they might want retail. The next day they might need to get out of that house ASAP. And you can solve that problem. So always follow up. Okay. And if you have time, calling is always the best. A follow-up call. So what you can do is always set a reminder. Depending on what kind of CRM you're using. I use Podio, and you can set a reminder right in Podio for when you're going to follow up. So as soon as you finish a phone call, all right, that person's not that motivated. Boom. They're warm. What am I going to do? I'm going to set a reminder for myself 2 weeks from today to follow up with that person. Set a reminder. Talk to another person. They're 30 days out. Okay, I'm going to set a reminder 1 month from now, follow up, right? Each person gets a task. Now, what's going to happen after 2 weeks or a month of doing this, automatically, every day you're going to have assigned tasks. All right, I got my new leads every day. And then I have maybe I have 5, 10 people I got to follow up with, depending on how many people you talk to 2 weeks before that or a month before that, right? It all just keeps on following up. So what's going to happen is every day you're going to have tasks for yourself. So, okay, today I got 5 people I got to follow up with. Next day I might have 3, or next day I might have 10, whatever it is. You talk to them. Okay, they're still warm. Okay, another 2 weeks, right? Another month, whatever it may be. And you set reminders for yourself. Now, if you don't have Podio, I teach how to do this in my step-by-step program when you're just starting off, bare minimum. I don't want you to get into a big Podio system or a big CRM. I teach it simply. I don't want you to focus on any other outside distractions other than getting leads. So when you're first starting, I give you just a basic Google sheet. Inside that Google sheet, you put the basic information of that lead and you set a reminder on your Google Calendar to follow up, right? So it all depends on where you are in the process. If you're just starting, do simple, right? I want everything super, super simple, and all you should be focused on is getting leads and talking to sellers when you're first starting. Once you start doing some deals, then upgrade. If you're an experienced investor, have a good CRM, but you're still doing the follow-up by basing on having reminders. Now, you can do those by phone calls, or if you're strapped for time, depends on your budget. Phone call is always best, but you can also send a text message reminder. Send them a voicemail. Send them an email. I mean, there's multiple ways to follow up. You can do a combination of all. 1 week, okay. This week, okay. Next week, I'm going to do an email. Next week, I'm going to do a text. Then I'm going to do a phone call. And it keeps on going. Email, text, phone call, email, text. You can do whatever you want, right? Just know that the top of the tier is always call, then text, and email. People don't really check emails. But, you know, they may see your name, and they might just ring something. Oh, next checking in with me again, right? But set reminders and follow through. Hopefully that helps. All right, guys, let's keep the questions going. Hopefully you guys are getting some value. We're an hour and 38 minutes in. We're going strong. I'm not stopping anytime soon. Well, I got to at some point. I got to get some work done. Oh, another half hour. At least 2 hours with you guys every week. No fucking around. All right. Yeah, so soon you will get those by email. What is the other paid option you suggest for skip trace? I use batch. You could also use need to skip if you want. Okay. Do you know anyone doing wholesale business? Any of us? I don't, but I actually was researching last night, and I might be personally going there myself shortly. Text message software I use. I'll put it in the comments. I use Batch for that as well. And if you want to use Batch, I will give you guys that's the code. But hold on, let me put it in the comments for you. And same thing, it's going to give you guys half off your first month if you use my code. So let me do that for you. Let me just make sure you guys got this. I just put the code in there. Use that link. And it will get you half off the first month. Okay. And also, if you go over to my Facebook group, I'll put the link inside my Facebook group too, if you guys want that. So you guys can take advantage of the discount. All right, where was I here? All right, you guys liking this? Show me some love here, guys. All right, gems. That's what I'm talking about. Fucking right. Is it good? It's good to know you get. I'm not sure what that means, Sterling. I'm not quite sure. 1305 Penn Ave. Yeah. So, yeah, 1310 right here. Sold for $7,000. I can see it still up on my screen. So this must be the neighboring property. Sold for $7,000. So what I said, I would agree with. Hey, I'm not sure who this is. What's up? Do you think failed listings are good to look at? No. Failed listings are not really good for wholesaling as far as I'm concerned. If they just failed, because think about it this way. I mean, I think about this stuff, right? I mean, you guys should too. Why does a listing fail? Why does a listing fail? It fails because they listed for too much money. That's the only reason a house will not sell, is because it sells for too much money. I don't care what anyone tells you. Only reason that house does not sell is because it's listed too high. I can sell any house to anybody for the right price. Someone might say, well, the bedrooms are small, or it's next to a railroad track, or the basement floods, right? Or whatever it may be. That's why it didn't sell. No, it didn't sell because it wasn't priced correctly. Someone will deal with small bedrooms or a flooding basement or whatever it may be for $50,000 less, right? It doesn't matter what issues any property has. If it doesn't sell, it's because it doesn't. They wanted too much money for it. And if the listing fails, it means they weren't willing to go down on price. Now, what makes you think that that person is going to go down on price for you if they wouldn't go down on the MLS? Right? So that's my logic behind it. Now, I'm not saying you can't get a deal. I just think the likelihood is slim. That's why I don't fuck with the MLS. Every house on there is retail, and I'm competing against my cash buyers that I have to sell the deal to. Okay. Do you know any free ways to run comps? A lot of us noobs are on tight budget. Sure. Yeah, you can go to Zillow. You can go to Zillow.com. It's not going to be as good, okay? But let me show you what I mean by this. You can do Zillow. Okay. So if I'm on Zillow, and let's just say I put an address in. Looks like I was looking at this address at one point in time. Okay. So let's just say that this is the house that I'm trying to comp, right? This one house is under contract. Looks like somebody flipped it. Okay. Or maybe it's not this house, but whatever. But if I want to pull comps, right? I could do it right on here. So what I would do here is I would go to here. So it gives you the option. You guys can see this right here. You're looking for sale properties, for rent properties, or sold. Now, when you're doing comps, you always got to look at the sold properties. Never look at for sale, right? Because like I just said, people try to sell their house more than it's worth. So for sale properties don't mean anything. You got to look at sold properties. You can do this right here. So I'm looking at sold properties. I can do is I can find the properties that have the same number of bedrooms and bathrooms. I can select the home type, houses, right? And then I go over here to more, and I go all the way down the bottom. I get sold within the last 12 months. You guys can see that. But I hit houses that sold in the last 12 months. Now, if I want to pull comps, here they are, right? So now I can see if I'm looking in this neighborhood, I can see right here, all these houses in this neighborhood are selling for around a couple $100,000. All right, this one here just sold for $255. All right, I can evaluate it. It's 1,400 square feet. I can go over here. This one sold for $280. This one's a little bit smaller, blah, 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 right? So I can use this. This is completely free. And I can pull all these sold properties. Now, the only problem is, opposed to Estes data, like with PropStream, I have all kinds of data points, right? I can filter this thing to anything, right? It's like very, very powerful. I can do every kind of filter you can imagine, right? I got all this stuff. But on Zillow, I don't have much options, right? I can filter by sold, which you need. I can do bedrooms and bathrooms, and I can do property type, right? And then, you could also do like some amenities, right? If that's important. If you want to look at houses that are waterfront or only houses with pools, you can do that too. But this doesn't give you as many data points, but it's still possible, right? It's still possible. And it lets you do this business if you're on a zero budget, right? If you can't afford the $97 a month, this isn't going to give you all the bells and whistles, guys. But what's it going to do? It's going to give you enough information to help you get a deal. So this is what I would recommend. Sold properties on Zillow. It will get you what you need to help you get started. Okay? And always upgrade when you're ready. What percentage of a discount are you looking for when wholesaling? Well, like I said, my business, I don't really do the formula. When I'm doing a virtual, I don't use a formula. When I'm starting off, I teach people a formula. It's usually 70% discount, depending on the area. If it's a hot area like Miami, that may go up to 75, 80%. If it's in a cooler market, like some I'm in let's say Pittsburgh, that could be closer to like a 60%. Minus repairs, minus your fee. On average, if you minus off the repairs and your discount, I'm usually buying most properties around a 50% discount. So if the ARV is 200,000, I'm buying most of my properties for around 100,000 on average. Okay, hopefully that helps. I'm in Puerto Rico. Can I do virtual wholesaling? If so, what tips would you give me? Of course you can. It's the same exact way if I'm in Miami and I'm doing deals in Ohio or Oklahoma or Indianapolis or in Maine or any other markets I'm in. It's no different than if you're in Puerto Rico. Same exact process. Okay? Same exact process. It doesn't matter where you are. I can do this when I'm traveling, right? Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter where I am physically. All I need is this computer. That's it. Okay? Tips, keep on watching all my information, man. If you want some personal help, reach out. I'll be glad to show you the ropes and help you get started. Okay. Does batch skip trace LLCs? No one skips LLCs. I haven't found anybody that does LLCs. But what you want to do if you need to get an LLC's information, go to opencorporates.com. Okay, opencorporates.com, and then from there, it'll give you who the registered agent is for that LLC. Then you can skip trace that person. Okay, so just one more step involved to get an LLC's phone number. Okay, when we have the seller sign the contract, apart from the earnest money, are we responsible for any other charges wholesaler? No, you're not responsible for anything on the contract. Because what happens, guys, what we're doing in this business is we're assigning our contract, right? So what we do is if we sign a contract with a seller, essentially what we're doing is we're assigning our rights on that contract to somebody else. So everything that you agreed on with that seller, now your buyer is taking responsibility for all those terms, right? And you are essentially out of the picture. So essentially you're not responsible for anything, right? Your buyer is now responsible for all terms on that contract once you assign it. Okay, so you don't have to pay any closing costs or any of that type of stuff. Only thing you're on the hook for is your earnest money deposit that you put down with the seller, which protects them if you don't buy, if you don't find a buyer. Okay, and I usually put 30 days on my contract, put 45 out, put 60 on it if you're just starting, if you need a little bit more time to find a buyer. Okay. No, the buyer, I mean, yeah, there's no real, same thing, guys. There's no real buyer script, right? The script is super, super simple. I'm going to give it to you right now. Write this down. Call someone up. Hey, I just noticed that you bought a bunch of properties in the area, right? So I'm looking on my prop stream. I'm looking at all the properties you bought. Hey, I noticed you bought a bunch of properties in the area. I'm just reaching out to see if you're still looking for more off-market discounted deals. That's it. They're going to say yes. Or they can say, no, I'm not buying anymore. Most people are going to say, yeah, I'm still buying. I'm looking for deals. Okay, great. And you find out what they're looking for. What kind of deals you're looking for? And they're going to tell you, I'm looking in this area. I buy this many houses. This is what I want. You say, okay, great. I'll be in touch as soon as I have something I think you might be interested in. That's it. Quick phone call, right? Don't overcomplicate it, guys. Don't overcomplicate it, right? Keep this business simple. Now, that's what you do when you're building your buyers list. Now, once you have a deal under contract in a neighborhood and I'm reaching out, part of my systems when I'm selling a deal is I'm reaching out to all the cash buyers in the neighborhood, right? I believe it's step 5. I don't know, step 5 or 6. I call all the cash sales around my house. Then that conversation is very simple too. Hey, Joe, what's going on? Pretty much the same thing. I saw you bought some houses in the neighborhood over here on whatever this is, Lake, whatever the neighborhood is. What's it say? On Lakewood. I saw you bought some houses over here on Lakewood. I got a deal here. I think you might still be interested in. Are you still looking for more off-market deals? Right? That's it. Let them know. Hey, I got this deal. I got a price really aggressive. Are you still looking for deals? They may say, yeah, I am. Give them the address, right? Tell them the condition, and they'll tell you if they're interested, right? So keep it simple, guys. You don't need a big script. Keep it simple. Talk to somebody like you would talk to them. Provide value. Be straight to the point. Come off genuine, and you'll do well. Okay. All right, let's check this one out. Okay, I have a property here, 7732 Long Street. Oh shit, hold on. Sorry. Let's try this again. Okay, 7732 Long Street Drive, right here, boom. Needs an average rehab. Okay. I'll tell you right now, within 2 minutes. Okay, so what I'm seeing here is the ARV on this house is around 245. This house has probably been rehabbed. Yes, it has. All right. It's all been rehabbed, I can tell. Boom. Just like that. This is a rehab house. It's a flip, 245. So on this house, your ARV is 245. Okay, that was easy. Now, what can you pay for it? Well, I'll tell you right now. Average rehab, you say, huh? Does it look something like this? Probably worse than this. All right. So look like this one. Something like this. Probably something like that, I would say. If I had to take a guess. I don't know the condition of the house you're explaining, but that's what I would guess. This one's probably pretty nice. Oh, it's a townhouse. This is a single family. Hold on. Oh, I don't know why. Put in single family. Same one, 165, 150. Why am I getting townhouses here? Hold on. Is this townhouse? Hold on. I guess not. It's a single family. It's this house right here, I think. That house right there, I'm assuming. Okay. From what I'm seeing here, I think you're probably around something around this condition, maybe a little bit worse. Probably something around the condition of this house right here. Crap. Seems like there's a lot of condos in this area, but if it was me, based on what I'm seeing here, I'm seeing these houses sell for cash, right? Oh, more of those. I'd like to be around 100,000 on this property. Let me check one more thing for you. If it was me in my company, I would tell my guys to be around 100,000 on this, but let me just check one more thing. I want to make sure I'm giving you the right information. Residential, single family, non-owner occupied. So what I'm doing here, guys, if you can't tell, in order to tell on an MAO, what I'm looking to see is what investors are paying for similar properties. It's super simple, guys, right? Keep on saying it, but I keep everything simple. And what I'm looking for is I'm looking to see what investors are paying. Cash sales are selling for similar properties, similar condition properties, right? That's it. It's not difficult. I keep on getting condos for some reason. So more condos. More condos. I don't know why this keeps on coming up. But I would like to be around 100,000 on this, even though I keep on getting condos. Hopefully that helps. If you want more help on that, I can dig into a little bit more. I just don't have a ton of time. It's already I've been on here 2 hours, but if you want some personal help on that, hit me up, and I can probably help you tomorrow. Scripts. If you want help with my scripts and stuff, those are exclusive to my students. So if you are interested in my program, hit me a message, and I'll make sure I can get you in. Yeah, jump on live. Like I keep on telling people, jump on here with me. Let's have a conversation. I can really help some people, face to face. Let's do it. All right, we went over that. Perfect. That's good. That's simple, right? I'm interested in buying your property. Are you interested in selling? I'd love to make you an offer. That's an easy, simple text, right? Nice. When cold calling, what are the best transition steps? Example, seller's name, who you are, status of the house. Keep it simple, guys, right? Hey, Joe, this is Nick. I'm calling about your property of 123 Main Street. Would you be interested in getting an offer on that property? They're going to say yes or no. If they say yes, okay, great. I just got to get a little more information about the property, if you don't mind. That way I can make you an educated offer. And then you go into your questions. What's going on with the house? Are you living there? Is it vacant? How soon would you like to sell? What's the condition like? What's like a ballpark price you like to take for it, right? So it's very simple intro. And when you saying who you are, just say your name. You don't have to say your company name. Like I said, keep it casual. Hey, Joe, this is Nick. I'm calling about your property at 123 Main Street. Very interested in that property. Would you be interested in getting an offer on it? Yes or no? They say no. Okay, I understand. Boom, hang up, next call. Hang up, next call, hang up, next call. You're going to get a yes. Okay, great. I was going to ask you a couple basic questions about the property, okay? It'll only take a couple minutes. Boom, go into your questions. That's the transition right there. Would you suggest to start an LLC when starting out? Not necessary. If the funds are tight, I would rather have you invest your money into marketing. If you got the money to do both, then yes, the LLC is going to give you some extra protection. But if you have a choice between spending money on marketing and getting an LLC, I'm picking marketing all day long. My goal for you is to make as much money as possible. Getting an LLC is not going to do that. How much do you spend on these programs monthly? This program is $97 a month. And I do all my deals through this, 15 to 20 deals a month. I mean, like, you don't need much. You don't need many programs, right? You don't need many programs. You need something to comp properties, pull your cash buyers, right? Get your data. You get all that's on here, Estes data. If you want to do text messaging, you're going to need that. And do skip tracing, you're going to need that program. Maybe you want a CRM, but other than that, that's all you really need. You don't need much. You need your phone. You can make phone calls, right? You're welcome. You're welcome. I appreciate that, guys. Appreciate it. Have I ever gotten into a bad deal? Shit, I get a bad deal still. Everybody gets a bad deal. Anyone that tells you they don't do bad deals is a liar. Come on, guys. We all fail. I still fuck up. Anyone can't admit it, they shouldn't be teaching you anything because they're liars. Yeah, shit happens. Shit happens. What are the major mistakes to avoid to prevent loss of money? Oh, shit. The biggest loss you can have is not starting. That's the biggest loss. That's without a doubt. Make mistakes, learn from it. And without doing that, the loss of opportunity is the biggest loss anybody needs to worry about. Do you make a different assignment contract once a buyer agrees? I use the same exact assignment contract for every single deal. It never changes. I just plug in the person's name. I plug in the correct title company, depending on which market I'm in, and I plug in the purchase price. Other than that, the entire thing stays exactly the same. Same with my purchase agreement. What's the ARV as an example? Okay. I got time for one more of these. I said I was going to get off at 10, 2 hours, but all right. Well, a couple more minutes here, guys. I know you guys still got questions, so I don't want to leave you guys hanging. You guys know anyone else doing these 2-hour lives? I would love to know. All right, let's do it. Okay, looks like a good little house, little ranch, 3-bedroom, 2-bath, 1,500 square feet in Orlando. All right, let's see the ARV. That's what we want, right? Okay. Let's take a look. So all I'm doing, guys, just so you can see what's going on the screen here, is I'm putting my date back a little bit. It already gives me my square footage. Sometimes I want to adjust that, but I think it's fine. A half-mile radius is fine. Property class, residential. I want to do single family only because this is single family, right? Yes. I'm hitting both public record and MLS. And now what I'm doing is for ARV, I'm trying to find houses that were just recently renovated, right? They look pristine condition, right? That's ARV, after repair value. These houses are flawless. And those are most likely going to be some of the highest ones you see. Now, this is a great comp. Actually, it's not that good because it says sold for 3.3. It must be a package deal. But anyways, I can go down through here. I can tell you right now, this ARV of this house is 265 within a second. This house looks nice, and one I'm looking at right here is 265. I bet this has been renovated. Here we go. Renovated house. What I say, right? 265 ARV on this house. Okay. 265. Maybe 269. This one's over 269. Let's take a look. Same thing, fully renovated. 265, 269. Okay. See how simple that is, guys? What's a good way to contact you? Yeah, hit me up on Facebook, send me a private message, or Instagram. Okay. Oh shit, another address. All right, one more, last one. Okay, I swear this has got to be the last one. All right, Hawaii. All right, let's do this one. I'm not sure what this address means, but I'm gonna put it in like you have it. 1058. I think this is it. Oh, no, this is it right here. I think it's this one, actually. Oh, shit. Fuck. This address has got me messed up here. Let's see if I can find it. Is this it? Shit. This address isn't showing up. I got a lot of choices here. Loop R. Hold on, I think this is it right here. I think I got it. Is this it? I think this is it. I think I found it. Okay, I think this is it. Looks like it was sold 2017 for $379. Oh fuck. Shit, close out of that. There it is. All right, comparables. Here we go. We're going to do the same thing again, guys. We're going to go back here. I'm going to put this back a few months. Just to get a little bit more data. And this is a condo. Yeah. So property type, I'm going to hit condo. And I'm going to put the square footage out a little bit. Okay. So what are we looking at here? This is a tricky thing about condos, guys. Now, condos, the issue is you have to look usually in the same development, because every condo complex has different amenities and different year built and all kinds of different things. You really have to comp in the same kind of area. Now, I don't know, right? I don't know enough about this area to know if these are in the same neighborhood as this. I just don't know that well enough. But I'm going to take a guess on this for you, try to help you out. I mean, I can see here pretty easily that most of these properties are going for right around $430,000. This went for 430, 435, right? These all look nice. I think 430 is probably ARV on this. 418 probably not quite as nice. Yeah, see, a little bit outdated, but 418. So yeah, very easily I can tell this is probably a 435 ARV, I think. Now, if I want to go to cash sales, boom, 365, 358, 370. They're all right there. So what's this tell me? Investors are buying for right around between 358 and 370. So on the safe side, if I want to make 10 grand, I wouldn't want to pay any more than like 348 for this. Okay, 348 on this property, and it's probably worth like 435. Okay, hopefully that helps. I don't know a whole lot about this area, but that's what the data is telling me based on what I'm seeing. Okay, and that's how I'm able to go in any market in the country and within a minute know what it's worth fixed up, the ARV, and how much I got to pay for it. Rounds I'm on the phone with a person, I know exactly how much I can offer without ever seeing the property. Okay. And that's how I teach in my new virtual program. You can be able to make offers, boom, 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 seconds. What program do you use to collect all the seller's info? So you have to, so either when you're first starting off, yeah, you're just going to use a basic, you can use like a Google Sheet. That's how I teach my students in my basic step-by-step program. Keep it simple. You know, more advanced, you're going to need a CRM like Podio. And that's going to keep track of everything, right? All the notes about the property, what the conversation was like, how much they wanted, all that kind of stuff. Okay. So you got to have some sort of either the most simplest way is just have like an Excel sheet. If you want a little bit more advanced way, you got to need a CRM like a Podio. Okay. I don't do anything with bank-owned properties. I go direct to seller. Okay. What do I have my employees doing? Sales. I have one guy that helps me run the company, all day-to-day operations, right? And then I have 3 guys on the phones all day, just doing sales, talking to sellers, making offers. What I say in the very beginning of this live 2 hours ago, the more offers I make, the more money I'm going to make. So the more people I can talk to, right, the more money I'm going to make. So I want multiple people. I currently have 3 guys. All they're doing all day is making offers. And they make a percentage off the profits, right? And then I have VAs. I have 2 VAs that they're doing all kinds of marketing and data work and skip tracing and all that kind of stuff for us. Okay? You're welcome. You're welcome. I appreciate you guys. I appreciate you guys staying in here. I know these lives are long. We're 2 hours, 14 minutes right now. I hope you guys are getting a lot of value out of this. You know, I'm happy to do this every single week for you guys. The only thing I ask is, you know, you show some love back, share these videos for me, and really get the word out that I'm trying to do something in this industry that no one else is doing. I'm trying to give you guys the real facts, the real data. No bullshit. I'm not trying to give you half the information, right? I'm not trying to sell you on anything. If you want my help, great. If not, I'm going to give you the full details here, right? I'm not going to hold anything back, right? So I hope you guys are seeing I hope you guys are liking this a lot. I do need to get off here in a minute. Let's do a couple more questions if there are any more questions, but I appreciate you guys, and I hopefully you guys are getting a lot of value out of this. All right, program, hit me up on that. We're doing a big discount for the first people who sign up, so hit me up. Should I start finding deals, and while doing that, build a buyer's list, or build the buyer's list first? Find deals. Find deals. Right? If you have a deal, you're going to find a buyer. All right? If you have a deal, you're going to find a buyer within seconds. It's not hard selling a deal. It's not hard giving somebody free money, giving someone equity in a property. Okay? Find the deals. Yeah. Using batch, you're going to get a lot more accurate results, and it's going to save you hours of time, right? If you download a full list here on PropStream, like I showed you, right? I got my data here. I got almost 200,000 in here, and I got all my lists are different sizes, right? 5,000, imagine trying to do each one manually and try to do, a few thousand of those a day and get phone numbers. It would take you all day long to do that, opposed to just taking one of these sheets here and you're exporting it, right? You hit export and then you upload it into the skip trace service, and then boom, instantly it sends you back everyone's phone number, right? So what would take me all day, I can do probably within 2 minutes, right? So that's a huge benefit. So you got accuracy and you got time. So, but if you got more time than money, use the free service till you got time, right? Till you got the money. I mean, you're welcome. You're welcome. You're very welcome. My acquisition guys get a scale between 8 and 10% of the gross profit. Now, on the free service, it's only one by one. You got to manually enter in the person and then get it off. So it takes time. You can't do bulk on the free service. So that's why the power of using the bulk service, right? You're welcome. You're very welcome. You're very welcome, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed this. I am going to get some more work done tonight so I can crush it tomorrow. And I might do another live. I'll let you know. I usually don't make phone calls anymore, but last week I made phone calls, like I said, for 5 hours, and I got 5 deals in 5 hours. So tomorrow I'm thinking about calling again. And I may go live during that for a little bit amount of time so that you guys can see me on the phone and how I talk to sellers and my conversations and hear my scripts and all that kind of stuff. Because I know that's helpful. And I've been wanting to do that. I just haven't had a chance. Because I think there's a lot more power in not just teaching something, but actually seeing it's being done, right? Looking over someone's shoulder. And no one's really doing that for you guys. And like I said, I want to keep on pushing that bar farther and farther of what is possible and how to teach people to do something. So I want to keep on pushing that bar as far as I fucking can. So I might do a live tomorrow. Don't hold me to it. It all depends on how my day goes, if I can make calls or not. But I will be doing that in the future at some point in time. It might be tomorrow, so stay tuned. Make sure you subscribe. Make sure you're part of my Facebook group so you get notified if I do it. All right, guys. I got to go. I mean, obviously, paid help. You get my full program. You get all my scripts. You get my resources. You get everything broken down, right? I mean, you get hours and hours and hours of video. You get my contracts. You get my phone scripts, right? I mean, I lay out all your goals for you. Tell me how many leads you need. I set up your business for you, right? I mean, it goes on and on and on. I mean, of everything that's included in that. Plus, we get an intensive phone call that's a little more intimate than on these lives. If you want interest in my program, send me a DM. Send me a DM on Facebook or Instagram. All right, guys. Love you guys. Love you all. Hope you guys had some value tonight. And I will be, if I do it, it'll be on Facebook and YouTube. Hit me up. Slide in the DM. I'm putting a discount for the first people that sign up. So, all right, guys, I will see you soon. And I appreciate you all. Thank you.